Okay, it's great to be here in the glorious sunshine. It feels like August.
I know. Where did it come from?
Where does it come from? Yeah, from the sky. It's global warming, isn't it? But it's great here. I'm here with Glenys, and it's brilliant to meet you. Welcome to our little attempt to keep the fellowship informed about who's around and what people are doing. And you're particularly interesting at the moment because you've just taken on a new job. Not that you're always interesting, but you're interesting at the moment because you've just taken on a new job for the church, haven't you? Do you want to just explain what that role is?
Okay, so I'm stepping into the shoes that Dean has been fulfilling over the last 6, 7, 8 months in the church office as the administrator.
And what does that sort of involve?
Fielding a lot of emails so far.
Okay, good. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Printing things off when people want it, sending things through, dealing with inquiries from all the various groups that use the church building, who are obviously just starting, coming back in now.
So you sort of become, don't you, the voice and the face of Trinity that most people may
the first port of call, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm very pleased that you've well, I know Roger and Dean are very pleased that you've taken that role on. So, well, we'll keep praying that you settle into that role, and it is a very important role in the church. But okay, we're here thinking about other things. So, what have you done? I know that you were involved in the census, weren't you? So, what did you do before you got this amazing job at the church?
For the last 3 years, I've just been working in social care, supporting, twofold, partly supporting various people in the community with mental health issues, but then also for a year I was classed as a PA to an elderly lady that had a lot of health, mobility, communication issues, but that had sort of ground to a halt and dried up in several ways, so wasn't really fulfilling either of us by the end. Prior to that, I was teaching, as a higher level teaching assistant, but effectively teaching in school anyway for nearly 20 years in primary.
Yeah, and when you were doing the census particularly, did you find that was quite difficult to do? Were you part of the knocking on the door?
No, I was part of the communal establishments team.
Right, okay.
So we actually started earlier. We started a month before the census, and we were engaging with communal establishments, which was predominantly care homes for me. Others of the team were dealing a lot more with university halls of residence and things like that. But care homes, hostels, hospices. Predominantly that.
And although they're important, we did one for Elaine's mum, and it was quite difficult filling it in for somebody who's in a care home.
I think pre-COVID, the intention had been that so we engaged with the care home managers and delivered all their individual forms. They didn't just get a letter with a code on it. And I think the idea, and from past, the expectation was that we would have then been going back to the care homes and actually helping people physically fill them in. Obviously that didn't happen. So the job changed, and we were all sort of working it out as we went along, really, because it was new to everybody. So it became a lot more just engaging with the managers and encouraging them to offering advice.
It's interesting you saying you were in social care. We were watching something the other night, Elaine, and we think we should really value Christian people that are in social care. I mean, they can bring something very particular to it. But in your whenever you had spare time, I seem to recall that you were involved in athletics. Are you still? I know it's been tough lately, but you still do that?
I am, for my sins, yeah. I belong to West Cheshire Athletics Club, and I train with them once a week when training's happening at the athletics track in Ellesmere.
What is it, high jump? Is it?
No, sprinting. Sprint training. But I'm a field official. So obviously didn't do anything all last summer, but got quite a few.
So you dodging javelins and
so I'm dodging
shot
javelins
boxes.
and jumping in and out of sand pits, measuring the long jumps and trying to move the high jump bar up and down. Well, up. It's not supposed to come down.
So what's been the most difficult thing for you then? I mean, all those things that you've mentioned that you were still involved in. What's been the most difficult thing for you during lockdown?
Not seeing family and friends. I mean, yes, we've seen friends on the quiz, and been speaking on the
See
phone.
family on the quiz.
You see, yes, see some of the family on the quiz. But just the regular, every Sunday morning, and do you want to pop round for a drink this evening? It's not like I wanted to go out to the pub every night, but it's the fact that we couldn't.
Yeah.
We'd had several theatre trips, days out planned a year ago.
So that's tough. Because your girls live away.
They
now.
do.
So people might not know where they are, but what they up to now.
Bryony's married, living in Watford. Had a little boy in November. So obviously we've missed not seeing very much of him.
Tough, isn't it?
I've just this minute had a phone call from her to say they're coming up at the end of May.
Brilliant.
So that's going to be lovely. And we actually have a holiday booked with them in July as well. That'll be great. But I've not seen my parents since September.
No.
And then Jenny, the younger daughter, has literally just last week finished her police training and is now a full-on PC potter, working in Ellesmere Port on the same block as Josh Morris.
No, really.
Really, she discovered when she went to her first shift on Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah, so we better watch ourselves if we're around that area.
Yeah. Behave yourselves in Ellesmere Port.
So what is? I mean, you've obviously worked through it, but so you've pretty much been occupied all the way through lockdown. You haven't really been.
I was doing a lot less hours. Initially, in the first lockdown, the community support was scaled right back, and because of Jason, he wasn't shielding, but he was very reluctant to be out and about. So I stopped the community work. Still just carried on working with the one lady, but obviously everything stopped for her as well. So I mean, it's gradually. So I carried on with her through till November, and then I carried on doing, but very few hours, literally just 5 or 6 hours.
Now, people might not know, but you've actually helped in our youth work, haven't you? Our children's groups for quite a long time. What's changed over lockdown? What you were telling me before about stuff that you've been involved in online.
Yeah, I would do Sparks on a Friday evening normally. And when we first stopped last March, we actually carried on, and every week we tried between us, we did a session and tried to follow the same sort of pattern with a game and some craft ideas which we'd put on the website that they could download, and a little short teaching session. We were never quite sure how many of our regular Sparks children we were reaching with that. We kept it going till the summer, and then obviously stopped for the summer anyway, and didn't actually restart in September, apart from some of the others have done just a few short sessions for Christmas and Easter, but I've not been so involved with that.
So have you had any change of attitudes or thinking since lockdown? Do you think about things differently now than perhaps you did before lockdown?
I don't think I do really.
No. Well, you mentioned before about you like to do some socialising. You like to see family. Has it really brought it home how much that really matters to you though during lockdown?
Yeah, we've really missed seeing the girls. Bryony's been better at keeping in touch than Jenny. Plus, I mean, obviously she had everything going on with the baby. Yeah. Jenny's been stayed pretty busy, but I've not really seen parents, or I've not seen any other family, obviously, at all since.
Well, presumably you see a lot more of Jason at home than perhaps you would.
Yes.
Well, that's a good thing, of course.
Yes, I mean, obviously he was working at home anyway, so it doesn't really nothing really changed much for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure Elaine thinks it's a good thing that I'm at home.
Yes, I was very glad that I was going to work.
So, have you acquired any new skills? You mentioned about working the computer and making videos, but is there anything else that you've done during lockdown that perhaps you'd never done before?
Not that I've never done before.
Or you've gone back to?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot more jigsaws, which I did like doing jigsaws.
Loads of people talk about
yeah,
jigsaws.
I mean, I did them anyway. But yeah, I've done more jigsaws. We're amongst the millions that have signed up to Netflix and BritBox, and we've quite enjoyed going back and watching some old series. Trips down memory lane, and a lot more reading.
So what about from a faith point of view? Has there been anything that's been a real struggle faith-wise over this period? Has there been have you found it easy to read your Bible and pray without the same contact with people at church?
No, I mean I've really missed. I think I've missed the fellowship of church more than anything, which is why the quiz has been a godsend. Just that semi-human contact.
No, it is good.
But yeah, it's the fellowship of church.
There's something about meeting people, even over a coffee at the end of the service, and asking how they are, which is so different to ringing them up and asking, because you can look in their eyes and when you ask them, can't you? It is so different, but it's coming back. It's coming back.
It is,
you know. That's it. Now you mentioned to me that you have got a hymn now that perhaps is something you would choose to. If we were saying to people, recommending them something that they might want to listen to this week, which is a real encouragement to us, you've got a favourite hymn, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's my favourite, but it was just one that came to mind, which was "O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder," which in fact I did pick a couple of weeks ago when I was leading the service.
Because people will have seen you leading services.
Yes, and then realised I had to apologise that it really was not the song to pick when you can't actually sing it.
No, it's annoying, isn't it? You can hum it though.
Yes, and mouth the words.
You can't badly. No, it is a great old hymn. Well, can I just say it's been great that hopefully people know you a little bit better, and when eventually they can come and knock on your door at church, or they can give you a ring, then at least maybe they'll, because people around the church lost touch with people. This is a great opportunity for them to get us know you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
and we'll keep praying for you.
Thank you very much.